Hello, people. This is Niger Commando Storytelling Challenge Day 28, and today's story is titled Hide Under My Umbrella. All right, so I was working in a bank back then, and then we had this new policy in the bank which prevented staff from withdrawing across the counter. So they wanted to encourage people to start using e-channels, which were things like ATM and doing transfers back then. And they wanted the staff to start it. So the bank came up with something, a kind of way to detect if any staff actually withdrew across the counter. Now, of course, it was a lot more comfortable most times for people to do that. And so a couple of times I had people from my branch do that. Now, even if you go to another branch to withdraw across the counter, it will still read for your branch. So the first time it happened, yeah, I was issued a query to respond because my staff had used, withdrawn across the counter. So I responded. The next time it happened, somebody else did the same thing, even though they knew that, this policy was on. I now responded to the query, gave me another query again. I responded and I also issued the guy a query and then I attached his query and then sent it to them. So one of the guys at the top, your guys at the top, now commented and said I was not taking responsibility, that they imagine how chaotic my branch will be. Those people at the top, their mouth is not usually good. So they imagine how chaotic my branch would be if I cannot take responsibility or take the bullet for myself. So what they expected me to do was for me to actually respond without mentioning the person's name. So yeah, a lesson to learn. Of course, sometimes people need to be responsible for their action, but at leadership level, because we are always quick to, we love to take the glory most times. So the leader wants to take the glory when everything goes well because everybody praises you. They don't know the members of your team who did X, Y, Z. So they always praise you. The ideal thing for you to say, thank you very much, but I give credit to my team, or if there are members of your team that were exceptional, yeah, it's cool to also mention them and commend them. Okay, but then what a lot of people do is when things go bad and leaders don't want to take the blame alone, they prefer to take the glory, but they don't want to take the blame, so they prefer somebody's head goes down. And so what those guys were trying to tell me that they was take responsibility because sometimes in life it will not make any difference whether you pointed out who committed the crime or not. As long as it was done under your leadership or under your management, you are still the one who failed. So I think that's a lesson that some of us need to learn. Pay more attention to your teams, pay attention to the people working under you. Realize that we are as strong as our weakest, and we are as good as our worst. You understand that? All right. So I'd like to know what you think about this. Let me know your thoughts. Please say something in the comment section. Remember to share this post. Remember to like. Remember to comment. Remember to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow on the 29 Niger Commando Storytelling Challenge. My name is Mike O. Wangwa. Bye bye.